We're kicking off the second trading day of the week for you here on Frontier Opening Bell. I am Bosin Omofaye. It's Tuesday, the 7th of November. Let's walk you through the first trading day of the week across a number of markets in Frontier Africa. Zimbabwe stock market was the most active. The index jumped more than 4% on Monday, led by Delta, Citco, Zimplo, some of the biggest names within the country's consumer goods space. That market still roaring above 167. The South African stock market, the GSE, up by 0.6% despite the decline that we saw in the financials. Resources and industrials led the market to a rally of 0.6%. On Monday, the rand fell about 0.2% against the US dollar at the market close. The Nairobi stock market made a very good showing, a comeback of 35 basis points at 86.05 on the main index, led, of course, by Centum, Everready. The shares of NSE itself listed on the Nairobi bourse, as well as Kenya Power PLC. Those were positive readers. We saw investors trading more than 15 million ordinary shares on total turnover on the Nairobi bourse on Monday. So let's put that in the box. The Egyptian market, however, turned red from 2.01% positive on Sunday. The North Africa's biggest market, that's Cairo, the EGX30 turned negative by 0.15% on Monday when the rest of the markets reopened. The BRVM down by 16, and the Nigerian stock market up by 0.4%. About 166 billion was added to the market capitalization. Let's take that quickly and go to East Africa, grab a few of the headlines this morning, with Kenya looking at about 20% stake buyback in the Turkana oil project because Total Energies and Tulu Oil have exited. Uganda is moving to edge out Kenya in a new petrol import plan because President Museveni is upset that the country is losing so much to middlemen while it imports most of its fuel needs from its neighbor in Kenya. And UAE's Sharjah Chamber is on a trade mission to Uganda as well as Kenya, while the KCB in Tanzania says it's getting some funding, about 3.2 billion shillings from the European Investment Bank. And the DRC, the DR Congo and Japan are put together $18 million deal to support electricity projects in the DR Congo. Those are some of the headlines from East and Central Africa. Let's take it up to West Africa. The Nigeria's debt office is selling two papers this week for the government savings bond in the first week of November. MainOne, however, says it's ramped up its expanded open access data network in Cote d'Ivoire, which will help increase the availability of that gateway infrastructure for Cote d'Ivoire in the West African region. FX International Investment Limited, that's what the FX INV stands for, is selling about 45 billion naira in Series 5 commercial paper at 18.5%. That offer still on the market street. And I spoke about Nigeria government selling the 210 of savings bonds at 12.6 and 13.46%. Those offers will close at the end of the week. Ghana says it's going to suspend PBC from November the 8th. That will be tomorrow, Wednesday, because the company's failed to meet its post-listing requirement of timely reporting back to the market. And then BRVM, Benabe says its profit after tax dipped about 80% in the third quarter, while Societe Generale SocGen reporting a profit upside of about 42% in the period under review. Let's take it down to Southern Africa and the question of whether South Africans will be able to choose a better set of leaders in 2024. But the business unity South Africa is expecting growth of about 3% in 2025. In Zimbabwe, the authorities has just issued import licenses for two cement leaders, Lafarge Africa and Sino, because they've got problems with their production. So the government is allowing a small window of cement imports to keep prices and supply afloat in the Southern African economy. Malawi is looking at a trade deficit of $1.7 billion in the third quarter ended September, while the Malawi's Confederate Chamber of Commerce says it wants the country's currency, the Kwacha, to be further devalued. And Mozambique's agri growth is projected at about 5.2%. That is for the next fiscal year starting January 2024. So let's move it up to the Northern Africa, where the AIF, the Africa Investment Fund, event will start tomorrow in Morocco. And of course, the intra-Africa trade will start later in the week in Egypt. Tunisia is reporting inflation down to 8.6% in October, but the country's total electricity production was down 3% as at the end of September. In Egypt, the largest economy, the country's foreign reserves was about $35.1 billion at the end of October, according to latest data from the central bank. While elsewhere, the electric listed on the Egyptian stock exchange says it launches a $400 million industrial city in Tanzania. And that's quite a big project across the deserts, the Sahel, down to Tanzania in East Africa. And Rugby Africa's President Herbert Mensah will be discussing sports, business and investments at the Africa Investment Forum. That marketplace, 3-day marketplace put together by the EFDB group in Marrakesh, Morocco, that starts tomorrow, Wednesday, the 8th till the 10th of November, talking sports business as part of Frontier Africa. I am Bosi Number 5. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.